let me tell y'all what I just heard. So I know this guy that used to be married. And I mean used to be. Cause honey child, his ex-wife, let me tell you what she did. She was always really big on girls' trips. Even though she had like 2, 3 kids. But you know what they say? Mama gotta have a life too. So one day she was at work and he was home with the kids. Now, if you have an iPhone, you know that you can sync your text messages everywhere. Child, she had him synced to the Apple Watch, the iPad, the computer, and to the phone. Well, this day, she left the iPad at home and forgot the text messages were synced. So it's the middle of the day, and all he's hearing from downstairs is bing, 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 bing. Since the kids were down for a nap, he decided to go turn the iPad off. He gets to the room and picks up the iPad. And he said, like, he kind of chuckled because he's like, oh, they have girls going in. You know, they just got back from the girls' trip. They must be sharing their experiences. But he said, as he looked a little deeper, y'all know what that means. He started reading them text messages. He started seeing how the girls were talking about all the eggplant they had just gotten on that previous weekend. As he reads the text messages, he's like, oh, it's such and such saying this. And it's such and such saying that. My wife ain't even commented. But then he went deeper. Come to find out, his wife is the ringleader. She started the whole text thread. She was talking about legs here, legs there, threesomes, orgies. So now curiosity has got him by the gonad. He decides to explore. He opens up the Facebook. He opens up the Instagram. Come to find out she had a plenty of fish and a Tinder. And there were messages upon messages upon messages of her infidelity. I mean, she was telling people she ain't want him. How he had a little pimpin'. She was even talking about how she ain't want her kids. What the kids do? So you know me. I asked, what did she do when you confronted her? He didn't. He packed up his kids, went to his mama's house, and filed for divorce. Apparently, she didn't know any of this until they got to court, where he won full custody, alimony, and child support. Oh, guess what? Come to find out, one of the kids ain't even his. It's a friend of a close friend. But he takes care of all the kids. He has a new woman, and he's about to get remarried. Goes to show you, men aren't the only dogs out here in this world, child. Have a good day.
Hey, y'all. So I tried to post this story, but it wouldn't let me post it because I guess I was saying, like, wrong stuff. But let me tell y'all how I got caught the F up. Okay, so this was back in the day. If you know, you know. I was in a toxic relationship. Like, it was so toxic, but y'all know. I was y'all goals. So on this day, the nigga was so mad. Like, he always used to be, like, just so mad for no reason. So I'm like, what can I do to make him happy? So I remembered that he used to every day, right? So I'm like, I'm finna get him some. So the only person I know that sell that was my ex. So I'm like, I'm finna get him some. So I was at my job at the time, and I text my ex like, oh, can I get a 3.5? So he hit me up like, yeah, he gonna pull up. So he pulled up, and I told him what it was for because it was nothing like that. Like, we was close, we was cool. So when I tell him what it's for, he's like, oh, nah, baby, you gonna have to cash out me or something. Like, you gonna have to pay for this. And I'm like, dang, okay, that's cool though. So y'all, me thinking that I'm so P and I'm so smart, I used to do lashes at one time. So I still had my cash app for lashes. So I logged out of my real cash app that I use now, and I went into that cash app to pay him. And I put in the caption like, this should have been free. And that's just me flirting and shit, cause this should have been free. Like, nigga, we used to fuck. So boom, I got it. I go home, I give it to him. He's so happy, y'all. And I went to the smoke shop and got like lighters and everything to have a good session. Like, I'm just being a good girlfriend, I thought. So y'all, this was a real toxic relationship. So he get the, and he thinking. So he look at me and he say, who you get it from? So me, I think of a lot quick. I say, oh, my valet man Sally. He like, oh, okay, this some good stuff or whatever. So yeah, I done got away with it. I'm thinking everything good, y'all. He was happy. I'm just like, yes, or whatever. So boom, days go by, and he asked to see my phone so he can use my cash app, y'all. I told y'all it was a toxic relationship. I keep saying this because it's like, you gotta pass your phone fast or we gonna get the fine, because what you hide your phone for real. So I just passed my phone because it was nothing. I ain't doing nothing wrong, huh? Get the cash out. Y'all, he go in the motherfucking cash out, it's a new Cash App he ain't never seen before. He like, hold on. So then he started looking at the Cash Apps and he sees some to a name he never seen. And it say, this should have been free. So y'all, my heart dropped to my motherfucking ass. Light for part 2, y'all, because it was crazy. Lost track of time, but we had a ball. Okay, but for real. So he like, who is this? And I'm like, that's the valet man. I had to Cash App him. He like, so why'd you Cash App him from a different Cash App? And I'm just sitting there looking dumb as fuck, y'all. Like, when the lie's just not working, like, I don't be knowing what to do. Like, I just be sitting there looking dumb. So, y'all, he started going through my phone. He started going through my text messages. And it's a number. It's me asking for the week. So, he typed in that number on Cash App. And the same Cash App popped up. So, he like, who is this? Who is this? Stop playing with me. Y'all, why the fuck he called the number and my ex pick up? So, he holding the phone like this to my face. And I'm just looking at the camera like, my ex started laughing like, you just got caught up. Y'all, why they get to arguing? My ex like, it's okay, you can come home, you can come back home. He like, nigga, she ain't coming home. She ain't coming home. I'm just looking at them like, y'all, I was so fucking embarrassed. And just like, why did I lie? But I just knew I was dead wrong. Would y'all have broke up with me? Because I feel like I was trying to do a right thing. Like, it wasn't really like, I'm not cheating, you know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to make you have a good day. Yeah, but of course he didn't leave me. He was just mad for like 10 more days. And he kept bringing that shit up. Like, you went and got from your ex. But it's like, bro, I'm trying to make you happy, twin. Like, it was not that deep. But y'all let me know. Was I in the wrong?
I think one of my friends hates me, and this is why. I've been posting content for about close to 2 years now. It'll be 2 years in January. And I hate to be the person to say that, like, oh, real friends will support your content. People who know you in real life who are your friends don't support your content, aren't your real friends. I am not that kind of person. I don't really believe that, except in the case of one person that I know, who this person out of all of my friends is like actually low-key a hater and like not even covert about it. And I feel like it's very pointed, like it's very obvious that it's like at me. I feel like I've come to like a place of like freedom of like being able to post just to post because I feel like it's meaningful for me and it's paid off for me. So I'm not gonna stop doing that because I think I care what somebody thinks of it, you know? But there are a couple of instances with this friend that like really proved this to me. The first one was I had a bachelorette that I went on earlier this year, and I was like trying to like figure out if brands could like send me stuff for this bachelorette. Long story short, I feel like most of the brands that I reached out to at the time, I had a smaller following, and I think at the time like they just like didn't have the stock or like weren't doing that kind of opportunity. So I received a lot of no's from brands that I personally had received PR packages from in the past. And I remember like talking to this friend about that like in a group chat that we're in, and I remember like her asking me like how it was going, like planning this bachelorette party, whatever. And I told her like about this little detail of trying to get a PR package to like share with the girls that were going to go on this trip. And when I shared this piece of information, like the one thing that she said was like, oh, well, maybe you should shoot for smaller brands because they probably only send stuff to bigger creators. You know, to like give her the benefit of the doubt. She didn't know that I previously received PR from these brands. So like maybe it was well intentioned. I don't know, because I don't really talk about content creation with other people. People in my real life, I don't talk about my content creation. I don't talk about my content. If they see my content, it's because either they follow me or like they found it some other way. But I digress. While that's true, like that's such a weird thing for like one of your close friends to say to you. I feel like, call me too sensitive, but I wouldn't say that to a friend of mine who's like trying to be a content creator or whatever. But whatever, I let that go because it wasn't really a big deal. But then like literally a month later or something like that, I remember like on her Instagram story, she said something about, because I think it was like approaching Prime Day or something like that on Amazon, and she posted some kind of like shade about like influencers posting their links for like Amazon or LTK or whatever, and saying how like influencers posting their links is like being part of like a fundraiser in elementary school, and like whoever like sells the most like gets a pizza party or something stupid like that. It was just clearly like a very like salty post, and it was like a series of posts. Like there were like 3 or 4 different slides that she posted about this. I was like, that's kind of weird. I'm gonna let that go because I was like, whatever. But then like a couple days later, I was like scrolling through Instagram and I noticed that she has a separate account where she is also trying to like create content, like clearly trying to be an influencer, like whatever niche she is interested in being an influencer in. And she doesn't follow me, but she follows like my other friends who like we all are friends with. So I just like, I thought that that was really strange, because it's like, okay, a couple days ago you were like hating on people who like try to be influencers or like post their influencing or content creation things, but then you like turn around like in the same breath and like you have your own profile doing the same stuff. It's very strange to me. And then the third thing that was kind of like the nail in the coffin for me, that's like, oh yeah, like she like actually is just a hater. She's kind of an op and she doesn't like me. Like, I've never thought that this friend liked me, truthfully, but I feel like it's just been a little bit more apparent recently that like I don't think she likes me. I've never really felt like this friend has like been happy for me for like any good thing that I've ever done or like achieved. Like, it's always been like shrouded in like, oh well, I did this, or like it's not that big of a deal. But anyway, again, I digress. I could get into that a whole other time. But the nail in the coffin for me is today. So I don't post on Instagram very often. I'm trying to get more consistent about posting on Instagram in case like this were to go somewhere. And so I've been like consistently posting on Instagram for like the last week or so, which is new. And it's so funny because today she posted on her Instagram story something about like a New York Times like video article. The whole article was talking about how like normal people don't want to be on social media anymore because no one's posting normal content and everybody's just trying to be an influencer now, which I don't know. Like, again, I might just be like recognizing patterns that aren't there, but that just feels very timely when I normally never post on Instagram. I've gone months without posting on Instagram until recently, and then coincidentally she posts something like this, completely out of the ordinary of things that she posts on her story, by the way. I also forgot to mention, and I feel like it's important for this conversation to say that like she has never engaged with a single piece of my content, like ever. Like, never liked, never commented, like not a single thing. She's never even so much as like asked how it's been going or like ask any questions about it, when like, again, all of my other friends have, like, all of my other friends are like curious about how this is going for me because they like me, you know? And again, like, I'm not the kind of person to say real friends will engage with your content, because like people are busy and like their first priority is not engaging with your content creation journey, and I feel like that's not a testament to like your friendship with someone, right? But I do think that it's interesting when we're talking about all these other things where she like low-key is kind of like a hater with my content creation, and then also like just has never been supportive of it like at all, when all of my other friends like have been in some capacity. I don't know, feels like it's a dig at me, so tell me if I'm crazy or not, but truthfully I just feel like this friend doesn't like me. So yeah, that's my little story of the night.
All right, story time. I just went on the worst date ever. Have I had worse dates? Yes, but this was like the worst I've had in a long time. Trigger warning, audacity, bad manners, and a broke man. All right, so this man and I have been texting for a few weeks now, and we were finally like, yeah, let's, meet up. And we went to a cafe near my house, and he did have to drive like 45 minutes. I was like, okay, I mean, as you should. Now, tell me why. I get there, he's already sitting down, right? And he got us a table. I'm like, okay, cool, great. But I walk in and he's already ordered himself a drink and it's like gone. And, I said, hi, nice to meet you. I sit down. I'm like, oh, you already got yourself something to drink? And he was like, yeah, I love so-and-so and whatever. And I was like, oh, okay. Now I'm thinking automatically, okay, so how's this gonna go? Because I'm gonna get a drink, right? Is he gonna stay seated? Like, I can't even imagine a situation in which he stays seated and lets me go get my own drink on a first date. Guys, let me tell you, he did. He was like, yeah, feel free to grab something, as if he owned the whole damn store and was like, help yourself to whatever. And was like, oh, okay, I see what this is. You're broke and you have no manners. How dare you invite me out and you can't even get me like a little drink or something? So I go get in line and I order, and I'm standing there waiting for my drink to come out because I'm not walking back and forth and whatever. And I've already made up in my mind, like, I'm gonna get my drink and I'm walking right out and leaving. And it's just funny because like the table he chose was right next to the door. And I'm sorry, maybe this is me just being judgmental, and it's coming from someone who loves books and reading. He brought a book with him. It had like a highlighter and he was like all up in that thing. I was like, on a date? It just felt performative, you know what I mean? So I texted my sister. I was like, hey, do you want any boba? Because I'm grabbing it to go. You feel me? So I got my order and I walked out of there, and I walked fast to my car because I was a little worried. You know, sometimes men be crazy, and I wasn't sure if he saw me or not, but I didn't even look his way. I got my ass out of there, and I went to my car, locked it, blocked him on everything, and I had to drive past the place to like leave, and I see him sitting in there like looking at his phone all hard. Like, I wonder where she could be. I wonder what's happened. You happened, sir. Like, come on. Yeah, in that situation, there's no need to have any sort of conversation. Just goodbye. You know, like, this is not what I want at all. This is not the type of man I'm interested in. And goodbye. So, yeah.
All right, here is the highly requested story time of how I found out my boyfriend of 5 years was cheating on me 7 days after I moved across the country by myself to move into an apartment with him, with text message receipts of him telling his friends he was going to continue cheating on me since I'm a night shift nurse and I wouldn't be home from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. Let's get into it. Disclaimer, I'm like, this is just scratching the surface. I'm not gonna get into the like psychological, emotional warfare that this man was putting me through. And this is going to be in 2 parts, but I'm going to post the second part right after. The second part has the receipts. So I started dating this man when I was 18, my freshman year of college. He ended up transferring to my school and then graduating in 2021 and moving to LA. And then I didn't graduate for 2 more years, so we did long distance for 2 years. And it was not all sunshine and rainbows once he moved. Before, it really was. Like, we were a very happy, healthy couple. But long distance, we were not good at. So the December before I graduated, we had been like so back and forth. Like, are we gonna make this work? We were not in a healthy place in our relationship. And it was like really draining on me, and I'm sure for him too. But it got to a point where I came home for winter break. He came home for the holidays as well. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to drop out of this. Like, I can't do this anymore. I need to figure out what I'm going to do with my life. Like, this is the start of, you know, my next chapter. And I got to figure out where I'm applying, like what state I'm applying my nursing license, how my life is going to look. And we can't figure it out, you can't commit, so I'm just stepping out. And as soon as I say that, he's like, no, this is what I want, like, we're gonna make it work, you're gonna move with me, I'm so excited. And I was very clear this whole time about being like, are you sure this is what you want? Are you sure you want to make it work? Are you sure? Like, tell me if it's not. And he was like, nope, this is what I want. And I was like, okay, yay. So then it was decided that was what we were gonna do. I was gonna move out to LA when I graduated, and we were gonna start our life together. We even had been talking about getting engaged when I was 25, which would be this year, 2025. So a couple of weeks later in January, I took a trip from Indiana to go see him out in LA. We went on a little ski trip, and all of these little things I'm gonna tell you here, they have a purpose that I will circle back to later. So we go on our ski trip, I fly back to Indiana, back to school, and then in February, I go back out again for another visit. And we end up going to a party there with all of his closest friends, like his friend group. And the party is hosted by this girl, we'll call her Kat. She is an important part of the story. And it's very noticeable to me that Kat is like purposefully not even looking in our direction, not speaking to us. And so after the party, I was like, what was up with that girl? And he's just like, I don't know, I barely know her. And I'm like, okay. So I fly back in March. He actually comes to Indiana to visit me for my birthday. And while he's there, I see him texting Kat. And I'm like, what are you talking to that girl about? I thought you barely knew her. And he's like, you know, excuse, oh, it's something for our mutual friend. So I'm just like, okay. And mind you, a lot of these times when I'm kind of like just glazing over things I should have been more questionable about, like, keep in mind, he really pulled the wool over everyone's eyes. I was not treating him like he was a bad person and questioning him more about things because I didn't know. Like, if I had, you know, had more of a reason to, before all this, I would have questioned these things more, but I was just like, I had trust in him. I was just like, okay. So the next month in April, he went to Coachella, and I wanted to go to Coachella so bad. When like he was planning it, I was like, I have the money for the ticket, for, you know, everything. I have the time off from school. I really want to go. And he gives me this whole like random excuse like, oh, I don't know, we kind of have our whole group together, like I don't think it's gonna work. So I was disappointed, but I was like, okay. So then he goes to Coachella. The next month, May, I graduate college. He didn't come to my graduation. I was really disappointed. I really wanted him to, but whatever. He goes to Vegas instead. And when he gets back from Vegas, flies back to LAX, I'm there waiting for him because then we were going on a trip. So we met at the airport. And he was acting really weird during this trip, like not wanting to take photos of me, like dodging them. It was really weird. And then one night we're sitting out on the balcony and I'm just scrolling on Instagram and he's like, let me look at your Instagram DMs. And I was so confused because we had never been that way. We had never asked to go through each other's phones, gone through each other's phones, like questioned each other about that, but I had nothing to hide. So I was like, okay. And he does, there's nothing there. He gives me my phone back and I'm like, okay, let me see yours. And he's like, no, we're not doing that. Like, we're not doing that. We don't do that. And I was like, what? Like, but then I was just kind of like, okay. And again, I was obviously naive, ignoring things because I had, you know, planned my future. I was not ready to like really like dig into this. And, you know, it was kind of the kind of thing where I'm like, if I question these things, I think something's gonna happen. Like, I'm gonna find something out. So whatever. Fast forward to June, he ends up breaking his foot and having to fly home for the whole summer, like 2.5 months, to have the surgery and be taken care of basically because he couldn't walk. So when he's home, I'm with him every single day, taking care of him, bringing him food, you know, filling up his little ice thing, carrying his crutches up the stairs while he crawls up the stairs. And no complaints about this. I wanted to do it at the time, but you know, this was my last summer at home. You know, I could have been spending all this time with my family, but instead I was there taking care of him. And in June, I see him texting Kat again while he's home. And I'm like, what are you talking to her about? Like, I thought you barely know her. And he's like, oh, she's just asking me how I'm doing, like with my foot, whatever. And I ask him then, I'm like, did something go on with you guys? Like, is there something weird between you guys? Because I just have a weird feeling. Like, I asked him, have you cheated on me with her? I asked him directly. And, you know, I'm thinking if I'm asking him directly, like, these questions, that maybe he's too coward to come forth with these things, but he would be man enough to be honest if I brought it to him. Spoiler alert, he was not. Fast forward to July, I get my offer from my dream job here in LA, and he seems excited about it. I'm so excited about it. So it's like confirmed that I have a job out here, so I'm gonna move. Of course, I was not planning on moving before I had a solid job. You know, I wasn't just gonna live off of him. Now it's the end of August, and he flies back, and then in September, on September 3rd, I fly out to LA with all my stuff, and I move in with him to an apartment. And he's living in a 2-bedroom. It's really big though, and he has a roommate, this guy from France, but he had to go back to France in November. So we were like, we'll just live with this guy for, you know, the 2 months, and then it'll be our apartment. A couple days after I move in, I find a hair tie in the kitchen, and I'm like, whose hair tie is this? And he very quickly has an answer. He's like, oh, that's Luca's girlfriend. Luca's the roommate. That's his girlfriend. And I was like, oh, okay. I didn't know he had a girlfriend, but whatever. Coincidentally, that same night, Luca is talking to us about this girl he just met out, and like they're gonna hang out, they're gonna go on a date, whatever. And I asked my ex, I'm like, I thought he had a girlfriend. And he very quickly, oh, I don't know, I guess he doesn't. I guess it was just some girl. Yeah, I don't know. And I thought that was weird. So I just kind of clocked that. And then fast forward a couple more days, 6 days after I move in, it's a Sunday. We have the best Sunday. We're out at the beach. We're watching the sunset. We were day drinking on the beach, talking about like our future, like so excited that this is our life now. We're back together. It feels like the old us. We're talking about our plans for the following week. We were supposed to go to this party that Kat was throwing with all of his best friends. This was going to be like my first time hanging out with everyone once I moved in. Like, I was really excited. It was this rooftop pool party in Santa Monica. And he's like, we shouldn't go. It doesn't sound very fun. And, you know, he goes to these parties that she throws with his friend group all the time. So I'm like, what? Like, it sounds so fun. What do you mean? And he's like, no, I don't think so. I think we should go out of town instead. And this is really weird to me. So I'm like, okay, what? Did something happen with you two? Like, you need to tell me. You know, like, this is like kind of like not a fresh start, but like this is the start of our lives. Like, if something happened, now is the time to tell me. And he's pissed. He's cussing at me. He's like, are you kidding me? Like, you're accusing me of something I already told you no, like whatever. And I'm like, okay, you know what? If you're being honest, like, fine, I will never bring it up again. Until go to part 2. Part 2 of finding out my boyfriend was cheating on me. So we leave the beach. I'm like, okay, I guess you didn't cheat on me, you're being honest, whatever. We go to bed that night, and something just does not feel right in my spirit. Like, I cannot sleep. My mind is racing. I'm shaking. Like, I feel like something happened. And it's like 2 or 3 in the morning or something. He has to be up for work at 7, 8. But I wake him up out of his sleep, and I'm like freaking out. I'm shaking. I'm like, okay, what happened? Like, you have to tell me right now what happened. And he is pissed. He's yelling at me, like cussing at me. You sound so crazy right now. Like, you look crazy. Don't ever wake me up in the middle of the night to accuse me of some shit I've already told you I didn't do. And then I feel really bad because I'm like, oh my, and he's like, this is really how you want to like start our life together. And I'm just like, okay, you're right. I'm sorry. Like, you already told me. And his demeanor changes in an instant. He's like apologetic. It's okay. I'm sorry. It's okay. Come here. I'm sorry. Give me a hug. I love you. And I'm like, that? Like, I was like, I know you. You're lying. That was really weird. How he was so defensive, and then all of a sudden, he's apologetic. So I was like, you know what? I know what I'm doing when you get up and go to work tomorrow. So I don't know if I sleep at all, but we wake up and it's like weird. We don't really speak to each other. It's so quiet. So that kind of further confirms that something's up. He goes to work. I actually have like a little meeting I have to go to for like before my job starts. My job was not starting for another 3 weeks. So I go to this thing and I am procrastinating coming home because I know when I get home, I'm getting on his laptop. And that's exactly what I did. I didn't even know his password and I guessed it. So the universe was on my side. The first place I go is his text message thread with Kat. And all I was thinking that I would find was that they had been like messing around for a period of time. I was not expecting anything else. So I'm going through his text. The last couple months was just like catching up every once in a while. Hey, how are you? What have you been up to? Hope you're good. Until I get to February, about a week before I had come and visited him and gone to that party where she was acting really weird. And what do I find? A breakup text from her, not from him. So I see that they had been dating for like 3 or 4 months, going to dinners, having sleepovers, sending selfies, I miss you, sending her the same pictures he was sending me, sending her pictures from our ski trip the month before, saying he was on a ski trip with his friends. I miss you so much. I can't wait till I'm back, making plans for when they get back. I am so livid. I'm shaking. I'm in our bedroom that I've lived in for exactly 1 week. Mind you, it's 9/11. It's September 11th. This was literally our 9/11. And also, I'm honestly just like scared. Like, I just moved across the country to live with this person that now I'm like, who are you? Like, who are you that could do this? And I'm like alone. I don't know anyone yet. I have no friends out here. My job doesn't even start for another 3 weeks. I'm just like, what the fuck? And that's, like I said, that's all I was expecting to find. So I type my name into like his messages just to see like what he was saying to other people about me. And that is when the floodgates opened bad. This man not only was in just like another relationship, he was fully living a double life. He was just a single man out here in LA, hooking up with random people on Hinge, dating a girl, all while he, you know, his Indiana life, he had a long-term 5-year relationship. So that Coachella trip I really wanted to go on. He didn't want me to go on it because he was pursuing some girl that they were going there with, and he told me nothing ever happened between them, but I know that he was trying to pursue her after the festival. He was asking his friends to put in a good word for him. That Vegas trip he took in May, where we met at the airport, here's where the seats come in. So to, this day, he still says he didn't hook up with this girl, but he was in a girl's hotel room with her. He said all they did was drunkenly make out. And this is what he was texting his friend while he was at the airport waiting to come see his girlfriend. His friend texts him, "I feel like I still have lipstick on me." "Yeah, I have lipstick on me. Thank you for the heads up. Wipe it off before you see Ellen. Maybe change clothes." "Fuck, I'm just gonna wash my face off. Life is all about that action. My dick still smells fine." You're gross. Yeah, so he had another girl's lipstick on his face on his way to the airport to meet his girlfriend, where he acted so excited to see me. "Congratulations on graduating. I'm so happy to see you. I love you." What? And he had told me after I found out everything that he didn't think he was doing anything wrong because he didn't think I would find out. But obviously, his friends were literally telling him he's gross. That is so gross. Now, I'm going to show you what he was texting his friends in July while I was at his house taking care of him every single day about me getting my job and confirming that I was going to move out with him. So up here, he had told his friend, "Ellen got her job. She wants to come move with me. What are your thoughts? Are you considering it? Do you feel more inclined because she's been taking care of you? Or do you still want to be gross? She'd be coming in September, which is the same month Luca, our roommate, has to leave and go back to France. So it's either her or some random person Luca finds to sublet. So I think I'm going to do it. The lease is only until February, so worst case is I live with her for 4 months and then leave. I want to have sex with lots of other women still, though. Haha, this is going to be interesting. Probably will end in an explosion and be ugly, but it will make me feel alive." And yeah, him being like, I still want to hook up with lots of other people, though, that is like what gives me the idea that he was planning on it, because he knew I would be working night shift, so he knew I would be out of the house. Those messages were 6 weeks before I was moving. And after the fact, once I had told him everything, he was like, I was planning on not doing anything once you moved in with me. I was just scared. I was scared that, it was going to be us, like, whatever. Don't want to hear it. He was literally, like, using me as someone to pay his rent and then just planning on leaving me after, like, he agreed to, like, live together, start our lives together. That is so messed up. Like, that is just seriously so fucked up to, like, use me as, like, a pawn, kind of. That's, like, my livelihood, my future. He was just using it, like, to his advantage. That is sociopathic. Like, genuinely, you have no empathy if you can do that. And if you can say, like, I didn't think I was doing anything wrong because you wouldn't find out. Like, I don't know. It's so insane. And, like, yes, I was naive, but every single person in my life, like, my friends, my family that had known him over the past 5 years, everyone felt so shocked. Nobody ever expected that he had this in him. And yeah, like, I ended up talking to Kat. She didn't know. She had said, like, the reason she was acting so weird towards us that night is because she knew who I was, but she was told that we had been broken up, and so she was really confused to see me there, like, a week after they had just broken up. And if anyone wants a third part on the crash out that he had when I would not get back together with him, obviously, I can make that too. But I live life with no regrets. That door closed and a million more opened. Like, I have created my own life out here in LA. I love it so much. I love the life that I live. Thankfully, I never had the feeling of, like, why wasn't I enough? I never thought it was my fault. I always knew, that was a him problem. Him being able to, like, commit these heinous freaking acts was on him. And yeah, like I said, I just scratched the surface. Like, there's way more to the story. Yeah, he was also just, like, unhinged, hooking up with random people, like, often in the back door, raw, like, while he had a girlfriend that had no clue what was going on. Yeah. Wish nothing good for him, honestly.